Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan, support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday. We actually have a thought piece scheduled to drop this upcoming Sunday, so be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you are looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available on 12 different podcast platforms for your listening leisure, and we've provided you with access to the links in the description down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today our topic of discussion is mental health. And on the topic of mental health this week, I want to talk about when it is that we feel tired. And I'm not just talking about physically tired, but I'm going to talk about mental and emotional exhaustion and how we combat it. And I'm going to talk about it from my vantage point because I feel currently like I'm experiencing a certain degree of mental and emotional exhaustion, and rather than battle it out on my own and leverage some of the skills I'll be sharing with you, I'm like, well, you know what, like I'm already using these skills, why not communicate them outwards to my community so that if ever it is the case that you yourself feel mentally and emotionally exhausted, you can tap into some of what it is that I do that keeps me going. So the first thing that I want to say, the caveat to this conversation, is mind over matter. I am a human being who believes that my mind is so incredibly powerful and that my body will rise to the occasion because I have that inner alignment. So I'm never going to ignore my body's signals for rest or ignore the indicators that are taking place in my life that tell me that I need to slow down. But I do also recognize that I can, while adjusting to accommodate the signals and the needs for rest, mind over matter. So I think that that's really important, that we recognize that we always have more to give than what we think. And a lot of the times when it is that we feel tired, there's still so much more energy left in the reserves that we have access to. And I like to think about it as like when your gas tank is near empty, and sometimes you see this on empty, but for different vehicles, for different makes, for different models, that could mean 40 kilometers left in your tank, 50 kilometers, upwards of 100 kilometers. Like there's still room to go, but there's just like a flag letting you know, well, hey, like you need to slow down, or you need to start incorporating some aspects that require you to rest. And so that's typically how I deal with when I feel mentally and emotionally exhausted. I recognize and validate the fact that that's the way I'm feeling, which is what I'm doing here right now on this channel. But I also recognize and I challenge that exhaustion. Well, how much more can you push? And I think this is sort of the beast mode in me, where there's a certain amount of adrenaline that gets triggered when exhaustion starts to kind of permeate in the ways that I manage my time and in the ways that I manage my energy, when I feel like I'm really trying to be much more intentional about the things that typically I don't need to think twice about. There's a certain competitiveness within me that that kicks into this adrenaline. It's like, well, how much more can you do? Like, how much more can you push? How much more output can you put out despite feeling this way? And so that's the one need that gets triggered when it is the case that I feel exhausted. I want to see, well, how much more can I do? And the other thing that gets triggered is, well, what do I need to self-care? And I think both in tandem allows me to just keep going even through those periods where I am feeling quite tired. So when it comes to mental exhaustion, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I wear multiple hats all the time. So when I do feel mentally exhausted, there's a part of me that like is curious to see, well, how much more can I take on? How much more can I push through this mental exhaustion? There's another part of me that wants to be very mindful of the fact that like I'm not really interested in climbing out of a burnout situation. So I will start to incorporate more or prioritize things less. So I think that incorporate more self-care is more so what I meant by that. So I'll make a point to sleep earlier or to meditate more frequently or maybe to meditate longer. Or if it is the case that I'm taking a break from working out because like life is getting really busy, that I need to stretch more, I need to have more moments of stillness to be able to combat some of the stress. And I think that sometimes we think, well, we need no stress to deal with exhaustion. And I'm like, no, you just need stillness. I think some of the stress is necessary. Some of the stressors in my life are not things that are going to go away. Those stressors that are optional that I'm opting into, they're the kind of stressors that are like life event stressors. So sometimes people can look and be like, well, she seems so calm, like she should be really freaking out right now. It's like, well, no, like if I'm feeling exhausted while combating the stress, like what I know that I need is stillness. Like I need those opportunities where I'm like stretching, where I'm reflecting, where I'm really being very intentional about how I'm expending my energy, because my body, my mind, my spirit is telling me, well, expend this energy with care because, you know, you're running a little bit low. Like you need to focus on refilling your repertoire. And I think that that's really important. I think also like exhaustion just means you're approaching a certain level in your energy repertoires that are beneath your normal. So doesn't necessarily mean you're on empty. It could just mean lower than what you're accustomed to. So whenever it is the case I feel emotionally exhausted, then I know that I need to like diversify the things that I'm attending to so that I can experience a broader range of emotions. So emotional exhaustion for me typically translates as me in one state for much too long. And if it is the case that I'm stressed out, then worry is the emotion that I'm battling with a lot. And the only way that I find that I deal with worry in a really healthy way is with stillness, with meditation, with reflection, and also just affirmations. Like I can get through what it is I'm going through right now and just reminding myself of all that I've already been able to successfully accomplish so I don't talk myself out of the things that I'm hoping to accomplish as well. So I think being very careful with my energy when I have those signals, starting to incorporate different activities, even if those activities are stillness, so that I can start putting back into my repertoire, my emotional and my mental repertoire. Giving myself an opportunity to exhale is so important, because I don't think those stressors are going to go away, especially if they're stressors that you've chosen. They're stressors that mean a lot to you, but you just manage your energy with care so that you're filling back up those repertoires without necessarily changing what it is that you're pushing towards. You might modify the momentum, you might modify the tempo, the pace, but push towards the things that matter to you for sure. In any case, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I think that it's really important that we recognize that exhaustion doesn't always mean we need to sleep or we need to rest so that we're managing our energy in a terrible way. I think exhaustion is just a signal that we need to restore, and restorative activities can happen. You know, we can plug those into our day as frequently as we need to, also push into the things that matter. And I think for me, like I like to push towards the things that matter. And I also like that my body really is very open and communicative about when it is it's feeling a little bit bedraggled. And so I can respond in kind with more sleep, with more rest, with more water. I can respond in kind with just more periods of stillness while still keeping my eye on the prize. Well, that was it for today, but definitely not all. Now, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page. So definitely be sure to tune in. Now, these events are paid events, so if you do see yourself participating in our community on an ongoing basis, then I do suggest that you take a look at one of our package plans. Yes, so we do offer package plans over and above our live events, as well as access to webinars and workshops, largely focused on self-mastery over and above these events. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you see what it is that we have available online for you as we build community, and be part of our game changer community, being part of the change that you want to see, allowing us a small role to play in your journey. We are on the road to 1K, so we definitely invite you to tune in, follow us across all of our social media platforms, and we look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.